What's up, warriors? So it is Labor Day, but I have to work, of course. So let's go ahead and get into our, we'll say, words of encouragement. Since we're still on the self series, this is the second video now. And for this one, I feel that's very important, especially in the veteran community. Self-worth. I think a lot of us get challenged when it comes to a sense of purpose when we get out of the military. Especially we lose that sense of focus or mission because, again, as I had said about self, some of us lose a sense of our identity because everything was so much focused on a mission or a uniform. We all wore the same uniform, so we didn't have to worry about, our personalities, kind of, what we laughed out, the dark sense of humor, that kind of was all shared. But when you get out, our self-worth becomes challenged. And it's like, that was an important part, that was an important purpose. But when you take off that uniform, it's so easy to feel like, oh, now I'm nobody. The VA makes you feel like you're a nothing, you're just a number, that you don't matter. Oh, you got hurt, you feel pain 24/7, you don't feel right. I'm sorry, we'll see you in 6 months to a year. Or they just really push you off to just calling the suicide hotline. Some people don't feel comfortable with that. And for some people, that doesn't work. But oftentimes, secondly, we also feel like where we were with our battle buddies, with our friends, people we looked up to, our mentors, people we actually liked being around, for those good moments, whether we were deployed or we were just training or we just hung out in garrison or whatever, we lose, that became us. That was the environment, that was the family that we always wanted, that made us feel welcomed, included. Well, self-worth, what's worth living for? Because that was everything. I want it back. It can never happen again. They lost their life. I should have done this. I should have been there. Or I get out and my unit deploys without me, and now I'm this and that. And then you start developing a hurricane or a tornado of emotions and thoughts that spiral downward because our self-worth vanished when we got out. Whether it was because of an injury, we were forced to retire, or whatever. So, I don't want to say I challenge you, because we all know life is already challenging enough, especially for freshly out. Not saying everyone struggles. Fight, mission is more for a voice for those who feel like they lost theirs, which is why I'm doing this self-series. So, self-worth. Fight is all about perspective. So, if you see someone who is struggling, or if you see someone who just came out of the military, be ready. Not saying you gotta warn them of all the bad things. You can give a mentor bits like, hey, try to file with the VA at such and such time. It does take time. If you be a good mentor, but don't throw all the negativity at them. Everyone's gonna have their own roller coaster of figuring out what's the new plan. Some of them may have a plan, but that plan may fall through, or they may realize there was a lot more obstacles that came with that. I jumped into school. I didn't really have a plan of where to live, so I lived out of my truck. So our self-worth really becomes challenged because we lose our identity. We lose who's oneself. We lose that mission. We may have an idea of, hey, I want to start a LLC. I want to go to school. I want to do this or that. But the journey to get there really mirrors who we are. Well, if we don't know who we are, who our self is, or the identity, our self-worth becomes lower and lower. Because it's like, I'm not worthy to keep going. I'm not worthy to do this or that. I'm not worthy to file with the VA, even though I have a legit reason. My medical all show, evidence. I didn't have evidence, so I got screwed. But, I went to sick call prior, but I'm just saying, there's no evidence. I'm not diagnosed diagnosed, so I'm screwed. But there are other people out there who don't even feel worth of trying. When they have the evidence, they have everything they need, but they challenge their worth. I'm no longer a soldier. I'm no longer a Marine. Therefore, I don't deserve anything. No benefits. I made mistakes. I shouldn't be alive right now. This and that. There are so many veterans hurting in silence, thinking those thoughts. I really hope that's not you today. Especially because we're on a 3-day weekend. I hope that you reached out if you needed to. I hope that you are still hanging on today to keep going. If you challenge your self-worth, you question it, reach out to someone else to give you that third-person perspective. Because we all know some of us don't see the good in ourselves. We only see the bad. We're our worst critic. So if you are feeling on the steep end, ask someone else, how do you think I am doing, or what do you think me going towards this goal, whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's or starting a business or something like that. Where do you see yourself in all of that versus what are people saying about you? Have you met a friend yet that you can count on? Are you able to reach back out to your mentors or friends or battle buddies that were in service or still are in service? Are you able to question, well, not question, are you able to reach out to them that can give you some valid points that you're not a terrible person just because you got out? I hope that you can find a positive group of people that you can reach out to, vent to, bounce ideas off of. We got to stay on the positive side of everything. Life is too dark. It is very negative, even within the veteran community. Don't get sucked into the darkness alone. I will sit with you in the dark. There are many of us who will, because I know fighting alone that's what I had to do. So, if you're questioning your self-worth, just because you took that uniform off, doesn't mean that you failed the mission. It just means the mission changed. Just change your direction. Find a team who will have your back. We are out here. I hope you can count at least 3 good things that happened today to at least 1 good deed for somebody else and keep fighting the fight.